All right. Hi, Eve. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you for interviewing
Hi.
with us. So I see from your profile that you're a singer, artist, and yoga therapist. So can you tell us a little about what you do and your work?
Yeah, I am all of those things, a singer, a songwriter. Sometimes I sing the old jazz standards, and sometimes I sing my original music. And along the way, during my music training, I also got involved in yoga training as well. And so that's kind of informed a lot of my original music. And I teach group classes and individual classes, and usually music finds a way into the yoga too.
That's awesome. So where do you get the inspiration for your art and your music?
I like to really listen for the muse, as you know, people like to say. I like to be open to what's kind of coming down the chute. And that's been really apparent lately because I'm trying to listen even more during a challenging year for all of us.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about you and Clara. How did you guys meet and connect?
Claire and I met through a music community called Balance Breakfast, and they were doing a what they call rock lotto, where they kind of draw names out of a hat and bring strangers together to create a band. And so we were three singers, songwriters, and we were the band. And we figured out 10 minutes of original music, and we're still friends. We made it through.
That's really cool. So what's one question you would like to ask Clara?
I think I would like to know where Clara first knew that she was meant to do music in her life's journey. Where did that moment come from?
Oh my God, what a great question. Thanks for asking that. I first knew music had to be my life when I was 7 years old. Well, my life music had to be part of my life when I was 7 years old. I I lived in I grew up in France. I was born in France. I lived in the United States for 2 years, and my dad and my mom, but my dad especially, played music all the time. At our house in the morning, when we came home from school, there was music playing, a lot of jazz and stuff. And when we moved back to France, when I was 7 years old, my parents had um, the wherewithal to actually ask me, what do you want to do with your time? What do you want to do now that we're back in France? And I said, I want to play music. I want to play the piano. And I really credit a lot of that to the fact that our house was a very musical one.
Mm.
And I just thought music was just the funnest thing. And that's when I knew that music had to be part of my life. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mm.
All right. So in this crazy time we're living in right now, how has your work changed in the midst of the pandemic and how have you adapted to it?
I think it's changed a lot for all of us, for sure. And for me in particular, it kind of coincided with a big life change already. I was moving across the country. I was living in San Francisco, moved to New York at the beginning of this year. So I don't really know anyone still in New York City because we've been, mostly staying at home. And what I love to do is get out and meet new musicians and find people to play and collaborate with. And so that's been different, but I'm still, working on it best I can. I've been attending some of the virtual balanced breakfast meetings, and one of them recently was a listening party. People were supposed to bring, a song that's already out there in the universe to play for other people, like a recording. And so I participated in that. And just from that, I got a couple of people asking me to do collaborations or interviews or things like that. So I love that kind of magic too, just the magic of community.
Right. All right. So I'm writing a research paper on how artists use and benefit from social media. So how do you use it to utilize it and promote yourself and your brand?
I wouldn't say I'm the best person at using social media, but I find what works for me I mainly use Facebook and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I love pictures and photographs, so something like Instagram is really fun for me because you don't really have to say a lot. You can post something and share it. And I find what works best for me is just to share things that convey my personality and what I'm interested in. And along the way, people will know what you do. You know, if you put stuff out there, when I'm advertising for a show or something like that, I don't always get a lot of response because I think people see that kind of stuff all the time. But little by little, just putting out things that are important to me, my passions with yoga and with music, people tend to think of me as, oh yeah, that's the girl that does that stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it filters through, I think. I think the important part is to be personal and so that people really know who you are as an individual.
Yeah, exactly. So do you have any upcoming projects or events that you're excited for?
I'll tell you what I'm really excited about is that I finally pulled out my precious, my recording mic that I haven't used in quite a while because of all this upheaval with moving and everything. And it was packed up high in the closet. And I had a friend back in San Francisco who I used to perform with all the time, Steven Strauss, who plays ukulele and who is a dear friend of mine. And he sent me a ukulele track and he said, I want to record this. Can you record this with me? And it's a song that we had done previously for a concert. And it's an old jazz tune. I'm getting really excited about recording that. And I also have a new song that I really want to record. And so this has kind of pushed me to like update my recording software and get everything ready to go. And I cannot wait to get started.
That sounds great. So that is all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you, Katie. It was fun.
So lovely. Thank you both. So excited to hear about what you're doing and that Stephen and you are connecting and you're going to record and you and I will talk again. Thank you so much, both ladies. Thank you for a wonderful interview, inspiring. And I'm going to now pause the recording and we can each talk for a second. Awesome interview. So nice to hear from you, Eve. Talk with you soon.
Thank you.